My husband went away to a funeral in Wales, and I got a phone call at 1 a.m. Basically, he'd had a catastrophic stroke whilst attending the funeral, and I was advised to get to Wales as soon as possible because it was quite a dangerous situation. I then got to Wales. They'd stabilised Iain. He was there for a fortnight, and then he was brought back to the Isle of Man, where he remained in hospital for 12 weeks. His recovery's been slow, and we're 17 months in now, but he started in Wales. He couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, he was paralysed from the neck downwards, and it was a pretty horrendous time.
And Iain, of course, you are here now. What do you remember from that time?
Little bits and bobs, really. I remember going to funeral in Wales. I remember feeling unwell, and then it just really bits and bobs, really. Yeah.
Those 12 weeks in hospital. What was going through your mind at that time?
Well, that time, 12 weeks, it was long days. It was very long days because I was on my own most of the time, and just sort of trying to do things with my right side, really, and just trying to get somewhere I could. But it was very hard going at all. Yeah.
How are you now?
Now, well, obviously, I can do a bit of walking. I've lost a bit of weight. I've lost about nearly 6 stone, so that's quite good. The main problem is my right side is still very disassociated with me. My right arm is very very weak, really, and my right leg, it's stiff, but it works perfectly well, but it's just always stiff, and I can't really feel down my side at all.
And Sandy, one of the reasons you wanted to get in touch was because you wanted to highlight Iain's recovery. Did you ever expect him to be as he is now back then when it first happened?
I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest with you, and I did a lot of research online, which was probably something I shouldn't have done. But you're guided by the stroke team, who've said 18 months to 2 years, and they're very right. I actually just imagined after 6 months we'd be back to normal, and that really isn't the case, and that was a bit of a shock for me as well. His recovery has been really good, but he does plateau, but then he does pick up again. And I really want to highlight the fact that it does take time. Everyone says this, and you do have to be patient. But the thing is, I'm constantly seeing signs of recovery, and the way Iain is with his memory and everything else, everything continues to improve, even though it's very, very slowly.
It's important, I guess, to pinpoint those moments of improvement and hang on to those for your own mental health, I suppose, and to keep optimistic about the recovery process. Is that right?
It very much is, and I'm a sort of a firm believer in making a note of when these things happen. And when Iain was in hospital in Wales, I videoed him, and then when he first was able to sort of be helped up with a walker to try to stand, I have got all this on video. So, and then 6 months in, the same thing. And I can actually we can see how far he's come, because we look back at those and think, wow. And even when he gets despondent and upset and annoyed that things still aren't right, he's come a hell of a long way. And a lot of people, especially doing the parish, keep saying what an inspiration he is and keep going, and they admire how well he's done.
And let's come to that. Iain, the Parish Walk, when did the seed of doing the Parish Walk this year?
Well,
plant?
I don't know. It was sometime in sort of December, January. My friend mentioned he was doing it, and I thought, I could almost try and do that as well. So I thought, I'll give it a go. So I started training then, really, and I found out that one thing I can do is walk. So I can walk, and it's great because I don't remember the last 2-3 miles either, so it's quite convenient, really. Yeah.
How far are you hoping to get?
Well, I'm hoping to go to Peel, which is 32 miles. Obviously, I'll get to Rush first, take a look at the big hill, the Slough, and if the weather's all right and I'm feeling okay, I'll go for it. I've been doing training walks now, about 10-12 miles each week, once or twice a week, so they're all going well. I'm doing pretty good times as well. I'm doing about quarter of an hour miles, so it's all working really well.
You mentioned about recovery time, 18 months, 2 years. It's 17 months, isn't it now, since your stroke? In terms of your recovery, has it been important to have something to aim for, such as the parish?
Yeah, it's really good because it just enables me to sort of think, where I was and where I'm going, and where it's on my journey. It's going to go on for probably 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, and still like that. So each day, something new will happen. And I'll think, oh, I wasn't able to do that before, but sometimes it's a bit slow and it gets a bit down, but overall it goes really well.
Sandy, seeing where Iain is now, how proud are you of your husband?
Oh, I'm very proud because, as I say, he's had to do all this on his own. I'm normally quite quick to jump in and try and help where I can, but I can do nothing apart from sit back and watch. And I'm not saying it's been easy the past 17 months. There's been some pretty dark days for the pair of us, but that's why I wanted to sort of show this story, because you come out the other side and Iain's getting stronger and stronger and stronger each day. His memory used to be awful. I think it was selective hearing, but now he actually does remember things, and he can remember things, and I'm extremely proud of him taking on the Parish Walk. I love the Parish Walk and I normally do it, but he was so determined he wanted to do this. Also, to say a massive thank you to the Stroke Association, because they've been incredible, helping him, coming around the house when he's unable to go there because he still can't drive or anything. So they've been giving him activities. He's got in the art group, and they have been extremely helpful to keep up his mood as well.
You are raising money for the Manx Stroke Foundation. Was that always the plan?
Yeah, well, I thought, once I started doing the Parish Walk, someone said to me, well, why don't you raise some money? I thought, well, that's an idea. So I thought, well, yeah, the Stroke Association, they've been really good to me. So I thought, right, I'll raise £200-300 or something. So I raised £200-300, and the money kept coming in, and the money kept coming in, and the money kept coming in. So I think we're up to about £1,700 now, which is incredible.
Yeah,
and
really.
That's also a sign of the inspiration he's been to a lot of people, because people we've not seen for years are proud of his story, so they have donated as well, just because it's like it helps him keep going. And like I've said to him, he's got to get to Peel now because he's got all this money.
Yeah.
And it's got to be important, of course, to lean on people when you do struggle. You mentioned dark days you've had since February 2023. Have you had other people in similar situations reach out to you and say, like you say, you have inspired me by your recovery and what you're about to do? Many other families on the island must be in a similar situation.
Yes, and certain people have contacted us just to see how we managed to keep so upbeat to a point. And it's just, I've always been a glass half full person, and I've tried to put that through this whole recovery. Sometimes it's been extremely difficult because we have a disabled son as well, so I've been caring for two people. But Iain has come on so much. He couldn't actually help with our son for a year. Now he can actually help doing stuff with him and everything else, and that's massive as well. But as I say, other people have been in touch because they sort of need help from us to understand why we're still so positive despite everything that's happened.
Iain, for anybody else that finds themselves in the same boat, perhaps quite earlier on in their recovery process, what would your message be to them?
Don't give up. Don't give up, whatever you do. Really, just got to keep on going. And each day is a new day, and you just got to start again and go, right, what am I going to do today differently? And what am I going to do better? And each little day is like in training. I started off with a mile, then I went 2 miles, then I went 5 miles, then I went 7 miles. It's all growth. It's all growth.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.